my name's Lace, and from now on there are going to be more vlogging channels for Start over. Hi, my name's Lace, and from now on my channel's going to have a lot more vlogging videos. Right now I only have videos that I made when I was like 15 and just starting out, so if you go back through my channel and see some sketchy videos, that would be why. This is my brother Bobby, and hopefully he'll be joining us for most of these, because we all need something pretty to look at. And while you're all looking at me, he can do the talking. Say hi to the people, Bobby.
Hi.
So today's vlogging video are going to be our 4 rules for surviving a horror movie. And I would like to clarify that we are in no way qualified to make these rules. And the only reason that we're doing this is because we talked about it for 2 hours once, and we thought we were really funny. So now we're going to hope that you think we're really funny.
Rule number 1 is don't ignore the crazy person. And by don't ignore the crazy person, I don't just mean the crazy person who is off in the corner with a hat and helmet on with blinking lights. This is not the kind of crazy person I'm talking about. I'm talking about the person who you all are looking at when they say, "Hey, that was a weird sound over there. What was that?" Which also would lead into our next rule, but I'm not going to get into that yet.
Okay, and what we mean by the crazy person is the person y'all ignore, the loner person. Because these people are connected. In every horror movie we've ever seen, these are the people who know what's going on first. So don't ignore the crazy person. Okay? If somebody says, "I have a bad feeling," or "this place is creepy," or "this place feels like death, we should leave," listen to that person. Do you have anything else to add to don't ignore the crazy person?
And usually when people ignore the crazy person, like this will be my example for don't ignore the crazy person and what goes wrong when you ignore the crazy person. The descent, the first one. Just the descent. Now, chick in this movie, it clearly went through some things and was mentally unstable as she went down into this cave. She started hearing some things and seeing some things at the very beginning of this cave. And everybody else was just like, she's the crazy person. We're not going to listen. But you know what happened?
They all died.
But the crazy person.
Alright, I think we covered rule number 1 pretty well. Can I have the card, please?
No!
Please, I will be next to it.
Yeah, you stupid bloody whore.
Done with that one. Okay, and the second rule, please.
You're gonna
Fine, go ahead.
I'm holding the rules.
Fine, you hold the rules. Go ahead and say it.
Second rule is don't investigate. And when I say don't investigate, I said something earlier in the first rule that the crazy person will hear sounds. Now, when I say don't investigate, that just means crazy person's heard sounds. So let's stay away from this particular place and move away.
That doesn't mean go investigate those sounds. You can not ignore the crazy person and at the same time not investigate. Okay? Because we want to be aware of the situation. We don't want to be in the situation before we have to be, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Because I've learned this about myself. I'm not one of those people who investigate strange noises. Because let me tell you, it is never the wind. It is never the creak of an old house settling down. It is not a coyote in the distance. It is some dude hiding outside your window with a bloody knife.
The deformation shit.
True story. Do you have anything to add to don't investigate?
I do not.
I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. Dramatic rule toss. I think we've covered those first 2 rules pretty well. So let's go on to the third one.
Okay, our third rule is leave the problem area. Now with this rule, there are 2 subsections here. First would be prepared, and second would be aware of the problem areas. Because in every horror movie, crazy person just didn't hear the sound over there. Heard the sound over there, saw a guy over there, heard another sound over there. So you want to remember that sound over there, the guy over there, and the sound over there.
I also want to clarify that this could be anything. A lot of the times somebody rents or buys a house and there's something wrong with it. Leave the house. I don't care how much money you paid on it. It's not worth as much as your life. Or, let's see, dark alleys, creepy grocery stores at night, gas stations.
Yeah.
If it has a bad vibe to it, you should leave. Or we could have a really obvious example, like if you're standing in a pile of bones, something's about to eat you.
What created this pile of bones?
Yeah, first question, what created the pile of bones? Am I going to be a part of the pile of bones? Move on. You have solved that question already. Let's move on to the first subsection.
Well, hold on to that.
Do you have more?
I had something to add on to this.
Mm-hmm.
If you buy a house and you feel like this house is an okay house and you just walk around and you don't feel like there's any problem with this house whatsoever, but you somehow randomly find an area that is boarded off, there's a reason that area was boarded off. You should not go investigate, because chances are behind that boarded area or bricked up area there was a major problem, and there is a reason for it to be boarded up. So do not break down that door and let nasty juju spirits and all these freaking, the ring type shit coming through. You want to keep that shit locked and bring down.
Beep. So I think we can move on to the subsections of leave the problem area. First subsection.
That was be prepared.
And we could go into this for a while, but let's just say from our extensive viewing of horror movies that there are three things you really need to have. First, a light source. And by light source, we mean something that is not going to be easily blown out, like a candle,
match, lighter, these
torch.
things. Anything with an open flame is a general. If only thing you got, grab.
Otherwise, move on. What we mean by light source, and we've talked about this, is something that is going to last a while, will work as an actual light source, and is not going to,
flicker away.
Yeah,
flicker out.
And we thought of those glow sticks that people take down into caves, those really big ones that actually provide a lot of light. So I say grab one of those. You know what? Because you're not going to have this happen to you. You're not going to have the flame of your light source go out, and then when you finally manage to relight it, somebody jump out at you.
Also, you may never know. You'll randomly find yourself in a horror movie type situation. So just go somewhere, find your little light source, get out of eBay or whatever, throw it in the back of your car. Know where your light source is.
Yeah, get that stuff before you're in a horror movie situation. Alright, for the last two, these are weaponry. You need a short-range weapon and a long-range weapon. Preferably, you would only be using the long-range weapon because we don't want to get close to anything. No. But if you're in the situation where you're tussling with something or, someone, you want something on you that's going to help. And this short-range or long-range weapon can be whatever you want, but make it something that you don't have to reload so much, or something that if you do have to reload it, at least it does a really good job the first go around.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to add this as an extra little subsection. If you get your hands on a weapon, do not drop it. And I won't go into how many movies that this happens in, but if you get your hands on a weapon, hold on to it. I mean, I can't go into the stupidity of dropping your weapon or putting it down to go investigate, because that's already been covered. Okay. We realize that the third rule is a little bit long, but now we're on the last subsection, which is
be aware of your problem areas.
For instance, if you're in a house and you've pretty much figured out that the house is a problem area, Don't run upstairs to the attic. Don't run upstairs in general. And don't run down to the basement.
Generally, just stay away from stairs.
I mean, your best bet if you're stuck in the house is to go to the kitchen where the knives are at.
And if you get to the kitchen and you realize some of the knives are missing already,
Just leave.
probably grab a few for yourself, then leave.
Yeah. And if you're wandering out in the street or something in a quiet neighborhood, don't go behind somebody's house or in somebody's yard or in a dark alley. You know, pretty much the obvious bad area situations that you might run into. Avoid them. Be smart. It's hard in a horror movie, which we also know from watching horror movies, but try and be smart. Avoid the problem areas. Anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah. If you realize you're in a problem area, make sure to grab at least something that is of use to you from the problem area. Because when you're leaving the problem area, you're not going to want to come back to the problem area to pick something back up that you forgot. So, think ahead of time. If you think if you're going to need this, probably should grab it. And, give yourself a limit as to what you will need, though. Because, you're in a horror movie. Don't be carrying around a suitcase full of shit.
Don't load up.
Don't load up, but don't go unprepared.
And, you still might run into a situation where there is something that you forgot or somebody enlightens you that you needed, and you might have to go back. But try to avoid the problem area as much as you can. And we spend so much time on this one, and it's like our number one rule, because avoiding the problem area and being prepared once you are in a problem area will solve 90% of your problems. So, once again, leave the problem area. There you have the rule book.
I will actually start video.
The rule has been explained. I made it. Okay, we're on our last rule now.
Last rule is 3 is key.
Okay. We're shortening this because it sounds really cool, because it rhymes.
Yeah.
3 is key. And by this we mean, if you are smart enough to leave the problem area, see rule number 3, do not leave by yourself or with another person. Leave in a group of 3, because leaving by yourself, well, that's obviously does not need to go into. That's a bad one. But another thing that we noticed is that leaving in pairs is also a bad idea, because you never know if the person you're leaving with is possessed, is working with the evil entity or evil person behind this. So your best bet is to leave with 3 people. Because even if one of you is possessed, at least you have another person there to deal with it. And if 2 people with you are possessed, you're probably pretty much going to die anyway. But at least you made an effort to survive. Do you have anything to add to 3 is key?
When coming up with 3 is key, this is how she said, first we thought of, leaving out yourself, then, that just brings up a whole bunch of problems, because now you're the only one person out there, and you're all paranoid because you just saw some scary crap going on back there, and now you're paranoid, like, oh, wait, and then suddenly, while you're paranoid, you're looking this way, he's actually behind you, and he's going to stab you, or, so leaving by yourself was never really a good idea.
It never is.
Never is. Unless you're the last person alive, then, you
go for it.
Go for it. You got nothing to lose.
You want to live.
Yes. And then when we were thinking about, okay, well now, leaving with 2 people, how would that work out? And generally, sometimes leaving with 2 people will be okay. As in, you will get away and that person won't be possessed and will be able to help you along the way as to your escape plan. But there's always that little hint of, if you're leaving with that extra person, there's more of a chance that yourself that you're not the one doing this. Because you have no clue what's going on. Like, why are these people dying? But you don't quite know what's going on in this other person you have with you. You know, what's going on with their head.
You don't know the players at this point.
No.
So
it's like everything changes when people start dying around you.
3 is key.
3 is always key.
I feel like we've covered that.
Man, we'll grab it.
I know, I messed up this time.
What?
Okay, and those are all the rules. Now, to end this, we have a little extra advice. And I feel like this could have almost been one of the rules, but
you know,
this is more common sense than anything. So, we're going to call this extra advice, subsection, injured is not dead. Please explain.
By injured is not dead, we mean if you somehow find yourself in a confrontation with this evil entity that is causing your problem area, and you are somehow winning this battle between this evil entity. Just because you are winning and this evil entity is down and hurt, like we said, injured is not dead.
No.
So you go back and you make sure injured becomes dead.
Yes. If you find yourself in a confrontation with the evil entity, keep going. Abolish the body. Do whatever you have to. Injured is not dead. Back up over that thing with your car more than once. And finally, to end everything, we would like to also clarify again that we are in no way experts in this situation. And, we would probably die. I feel like we might make it to the end before we died, or at least to, the middle. But we would probably die.
More than likely.
Because I want to say that another thing you see in horror movies is that the people who know what's going on, like crazy person occasionally, or, just the smart in general people, are usually one of the first few to get taken out. And then it's usually the annoying people. But we hope that you learned something from this. And if you ever find yourself in a horror movie situation, then,
follow the rules.
Follow the rules. And make it, to the middle or almost to the end.
Because,
you might not survive either.
You're in a horror movie situation already. Might as well just say, oh, hey, fuck it. I'm going to give it my best shot.
Alright, well, thank you for listening to us ramble, and we'll see you again. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun. Last rule. Well, it's not a rule, but paper towels.
That was the worst one of them all.
I still suck.